Hello and welcome to Text Encountered. My name is Joe. Today I'm going to be doing a unbagging, I guess, instead of an unboxing. So yesterday I received a delivery from Tiny Battle, which included the brand new Scream Aim Fire Pacific and an older game, In the Trenches Devil Dogs. Now, I just finished a playthrough of 65 from Flying Pig Games, and for those of you who might not know this, Flying Pig Games and Tiny Battle are both owned by Mark H. Walker. So basically similar companies, but to use Mark's description, the Flying Pig is big package, big fun. The Tiny Battle is small package, big fun. So these were actually my first purchases from Tiny Battle, and it took a little bit of time for them to get here, but now that they're here and coming right on the heels of having played 65, I may just go through and play one or both of these. And right now I'm actually leaning towards playing In the Trenches. Like, there's always the temptation to play the what's new, but in this case I've been hankering to play these games, these In the Trenches games, for a long time. And because I was buying this because I really enjoy Pacific Theater of Operations games, and so I wanted to play this. And so when I ordered this, I was thinking, well, this would be an opportunity to kind of combine the shipping and get this as well. This is base set 1. There's a second base set called Doughboys, which is Army oriented. Devil Dogs is Marine Corps oriented. So that was a piece of why I chose to go with Devil Dogs first. Interestingly, the scenarios in here are from the First World War, and the unit that's in it is the 2nd Battalion of the 5th Marine Regiment. And in here we have, I think, 10 scenarios, and some of them are based in the Battle of Okinawa, and the 5th Regiment of the 1st Marine Division fought in that battle. They also fought some of the earlier battles, Belleau Wood, and some other ones. They were at Guadalcanal. They were at Cape Gloucester. So they obviously they participated in many of the battles of the Pacific War. But there are scenarios in this game and this game that are basically the same unit. Now, they don't really designate in this game which unit it is, and they don't actually really designate it here either. But I know from my own knowledge that 2nd Battalion of the 5th Marines were the unit that fought at Belleau Wood, which is what's in this game. And obviously, as I just outlined, they also fought at Okinawa, which is in this game. Interestingly, the 5th Regiment is also the unit that GMT Games features in Fields of Fire 2, covering Peleliu, Chosin Reservoir in Korea, and the Battle of Hue in Vietnam. So to kind of not drag this out much further, I was going to kind of do a side-by-side unbagging. Now, obviously, these are 2 different games by 2 different designers. This is designed by Jay Kirkpatrick, and this is designed by John Gorkowski. So John Gorkowski is kind of a tactical, kind of the tactical World War I guy. He has a series of games that are published by Compass called Red Poppies that I also have had my eye on for a while, but have not picked one up yet. Depending on how much I like this, I may actually splurge on getting either, well, of the 3 volumes, only 2 and 3 are still available. The first one is it's out of print, but I'm typically not willing to go for the extravagance of buying secondary market games because of how expensive they can be, unless I get lucky and find it cheap. So to get back to the task at hand, I will unbag these 2. So I'm going to start with the older game, In the Trenches. So let's see what you get here. These games are obviously fairly inexpensive. They come in a bag, and not a whole lot of bells and whistles, fairly straightforward. The rule book is fairly, not real long. It's 20 pages, obviously. And it's not, the text is a little dense, I would say, but not terrible. Okay, so what else do we get here? We got some a player aid card with some charts on it. Double-sided. Here's our scenarios. As you can see, we have 3 scenarios in this particular edition. The number of scenarios vary. There are 5 expansions for this, plus 2 base sets, so 7 total games, I believe, in the series. This was originally published by another company whose name escapes me at the moment, but you know, Tiny Battle has published pretty much everything that they've done, and I think the most recent release might have been around 2017 or 18. So these are a few years old, but like I said, I wanted to give them a try. So you get 3 maps. The maps are basically paper. One is 2-sided. So this would be your 2-sided map, and you can see you've got some shell craters here, town in the corner. And on this side, we've got like a stream and some entrenchments, some trenches. What would World War I game be without some trenches? And then this is the other map, and this is only single-sided, but as you can see, we've got more trenches. We have the town of Lucy here in the corner and some roads. We also have turn track, double-sided. The other side is just some of the other games from Tiny Battle, some of which are actually no longer available from Tiny Battle. Some are, some are not. This is one I also have my eye on, Sticks and Stones. It's a 1980s modern war kind of game that looks pretty interesting. It's Platoon Commander series, which is another Mark Walker game I would really like to play. There's several Mark Walker games that I would like to play. And then there's, of course, Old School Tactical, which technically isn't a Mark Walker game. It's a Shane Logan game, but that also looks really interesting. And, you know, as I said before in my reviews of 65, the components that Flying Pig put out are just tremendous. Now, this is obviously a little different. Not that the components are shoddy, they're not. But it's not, you know, as high production value as Flying Pig. And, of course, Flying Pig games cost significantly more for that particular reason. So you get 2 sheets of, or 2 half sheets, rather, of counters here. And you get a lot, and obviously the units, there's a lot of markers. Like, these are markers. And most of these are also markers. And here's your units here. So we've got the Marines and the Germans. And then in the expansions, I believe, I don't have any of them yet, but I believe in the expansions you get mostly just units, and you use the markers from the base games. Now, if I like this game, and I'm assuming I will end up buying probably all of the whole series, because I like tactical games a lot. And based on what, you know, my previous experience has been with Flying Pig, I think that Tiny Battle games will also prove to be something I will enjoy. So now we're going to move on to Jay Kirkpatrick's Scream, Aim, Fire Pacific. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but if you don't know, this is the second game in a series. The original Scream, Aim, Fire was based in Europe. So this is the Pacific version. And the rule book here, I believe, is actually a little bit shorter than the other one. We have, well, there's a blank page there. The page isn't numbered. Well, the pages aren't numbered, but it feels like this has fewer pages than the 20 pages that we had in the other one. As you can see, we've got scenarios, I guess 5 scenarios. For some reason, I thought there were more, but 5 is plenty. We've got Tarawa, Iwo Jima, 2 in Okinawa, and Saipan. So all of those were pretty tough battles for the Marines. The Japanese put up some fierce resistance. At Okinawa, actually, they did not contest the landing, but they had dug in positions in the south part of the island that the Marines had and the Army. There were Army units there as well. They had a hard time rooting them out. That was a pretty brutal battle, very similar in a lot of ways to World War I, actually, because of the prepared positions the Japanese had and a lot of artillery and so on. So here are our maps, or one of the maps. And as you can see, it's single-sided. It's larger than the maps in the trenches. Obviously, different war, different game. It's got turn track and so forth on here. Reserve track for the Japanese, a morale track for the Marine Corps. I think actually the map should be like this, so it's not upside down. But you get the general idea. I can put some plexi on here to flatten it out and protect it. And then we have a second map here. Same kind of deal, except this one has a beach. So I'm guessing your landings will probably be taking place on this map. This is map number 1. That must be map number 2. My guess is the Okinawa scenarios are probably going to be on map number 2 because, as I said, the landings at Okinawa were not contested. They literally walked onto the beach. So these are our maps. And then inside the bag as well, we've got another bag. We also have some cards. So this, I believe, is a card-assisted game. Not specifically a card-driven game, but card-assisted. And then we have our counters. Now, these are more similar in size, at least, to what you see in the Flying Pig games. The counters are big and beefy in the Flying Pig, at least in Flying Pig games, at least in 65, that was true. And I'm pretty sure it's true in, like, Old School Tactical as well. So here we have some Japanese units, some American units. They seem like they pop out pretty easy here. We have some more Marine units and Japanese units. Instead of, the NATO symbols, you actually have, kind of images of the combatants on there, which is always nice. Some markers and another set, of markers. So, yeah, and as you can see, they come out pretty easy. You might need to clip a little bit because you can see the connectors on there, but in general, pretty nice component quality. And again, the cost is relatively low, especially when you compare it to a big boxed game. So in general, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I'm sure I rambled on way too long like I usually do, but I am going to play these games. I know there have been some videos recently on this game, of course, because it's new. And I would recommend maybe checking those out because I'm not sure I'll get to this one right away. Partially because, as I said, people have been doing videos on the game. It's relatively new. I don't know that I would have that much new to offer. And I might just play in the trenches first. And then maybe I'll do like a 5th Regiment kind of thing where I'll do the in the trenches. Then I'll play some of the Okinawa scenarios in this game. Put those up for you guys to see. And then, at some point I'm going to get Fields of Fire and Fields of Fire 2 to the table as well. And, obviously that, as I said, Fields of Fire 2 is all about the 5th Regiment, the 5th Marines. I also have Combat Commander Pacific, and some of those battles were 1st Marine Division. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the scenario list. I'm not sure what regiments were involved in that. I know 1st Regiment was there, 7th Regiment was there, and I believe the 5th was there as well. So it's likely we could have a whole 5th Marines playlist or something at some point. So I'm going to wrap it up for now. As always, thank you for watching. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe. I know I ask that every time. I appreciate it if you watch to the end, because hopefully this one's not super long. Then I also appreciate that. And until next time, I'm Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered. Happy gaming.